you know, with regard to the moves, you make so many over time that I think what you're looking for is if you bring the same focus and the same process to everything that you do, it certainly becomes easier over time. And with regard to the conviction, no, I didn't lose any of it.
You're on a roll, man.
Okay. It's wonderful. It's great for our game, and if anybody has had an occasion to interact with Matthew, you know his personality and his level of sincerity. And it's fantastic. It's great for our game, and obviously what he's done on the ice has been wonderful and fun. I think that's maybe the best. It's really fun. But, you know, that's it, right? That you have the experience, it's invaluable, like as with anything else in life, and or even when you talk about when you do those transactions. The second time's a little easier, maybe you're a little more savvy, and the collective experience that breeds wisdom has significant value.
Biggest part of experience is maybe you have a little bit of understanding of the pressures of both rooms. So over time, when you go in and play a team like Boston, what their room's dealing with, what your room's dealing with, what's that room like at 3-1, what's your room like at 1-3, so that helps. And then personally, the experience is you enjoy it way more. The more time you get there, the more you can take in the people and players especially, but also all the people around your room, the excitement. It's the most fun to be around a room. Your coaches aren't being asses every day, and the players aren't tuning you out every day. Everybody's happy, so it's good time to come to the rink. So when you think of some of the best franchises in the league, regardless of the weather, and maybe it was just the Hartford Whalers. We went into Chicago one night. They had about 5,000 people in the building, in that building. You know, Detroit the same. So all players, yeah, the weather's great. They just want to win, or they want to be in a place that they can enjoy their life. I don't mean casually enjoy their professional life. If you're not winning, you're building toward winning, and you got a good culture in your room. But the opportunity to be a part of a team that has a chance to win trumps everything for all players in my experience. If it doesn't, then you're not trying to sign those players.
To build on that, you know, it's a work in progress, and we still have so much to do on that end, and continue to get better every day, and try to take this little bit of culture that's sort of in a petri dish and get it to keep growing and expanding, and learning from the things we do wrong and keep getting better. If you have a chance to get to know Paul, he's more than anything else, he's helped me get better and continue to improve. All the hockey stuff that we've talked about a lot, but as far as the personal interaction, he will compliment, you know, he makes you you don't want to let him down. So.
Of all the people in the room, Sergei would be the one I'm least worried about. He's got this routine, and he's fine. Like, he's such an incredible professional that we leave him to prepare himself, and he's done it very, very well. This is just challenge or opportunity. There's a bunch of challenges being off 9 days, and there's a list of about 10 things that could be negatively affect your hockey team. It's just a fact. But I will take the rest based on what we had gone through and where we were at coming out that every day. If you go back and said, Paul, you can have 9 days off right now, but you might be a little rusty, or your hands, or maybe you forgot how hard it is, or all of the things that we could come up, the things that Bill and I worry about, I take the rest, but that is situational in my mind to this team.
Patrick, there's not enough superlatives to describe what he's meant to us on the ice, then subsequently in the room, helping, pushing, pulling, doing anything and everything he can to help the team, helping individuals, talking to the young guys, and you're right, yeah, we've relied on him too. And he has that experience. He has 2 cups. If you know him at all, he's not afraid to share, and he's been fantastic.
Challenge and opportunity. So the opportunity is you can't teach this, so we'll just talk about Anton Lundell. I cannot describe to him how tough a long playoff run is, he has to experience it. And that's the great opportunity, or the learning. It's not what the coaches teach. It's what their bodies felt like after Game 7 and we got to go into Toronto. It's what they felt like in quadruple overtime. All of those things are learned, and that's the great opportunity. The challenge is, and it kind of relates to what Bill talked about, the Petri dish, and you got to continue to grow this. If this was something that you captured and owned, well, the team that won the Stanley Cup 100 years ago would still have it, right? So it has to be earned each year, and there's the challenge. So in each game, in each practice, and we're certainly not looking past today, but there will come a point in time where that message will be sent. It has to be earned again.
I think those players on our roster who were here when I arrived have been the sort of steadying, I don't want to go so far as to say core, because we have a lot of new guys who are part of it. But certainly, it's almost as if they had a little bit of ownership in the collective from the beginning. And I think where everybody has improved together, they've also improved individually. So
there's no luck in his game. He doesn't come to the rink hoping, geez, that unbelievable play I made last night, I hope that it doesn't disappear on me. He's done this all year. Danny did it to us in Winnipeg all the time. So this isn't something new to Florida. He has been that player his whole career. The one story here, and I understand it, the goals are exciting. The maturation of him, and when I say that, it's not that he was ever immature. The first question was about him being in People magazine, and I watched that interview. I listened a lot to the player interviews. Like, he's brilliant at it, and he's 25 years old. So he has a deep confidence in himself and his game, in part because that's exactly who he is. So when he gets up and he does that interview, that's Matthew Tkachuk. So he doesn't have to manufacture a brand, and he doesn't have to go out and try to play a certain way. It's just him. So he can come to the rink. He knows what he's going to do. He knows what he's good at. So you bring that kind of inner peace almost to your game, and then that way I think you become very consistent.
We'll take 3 more questions back left.
Samantha Rivera, CBS News Miami. Paul, can you tell us about the shared dog bone and how that tradition came about?
Oh, I can't. No, and I'm not holding it back from you. There's a whole bunch of things. So the dog terminology, I think I know where that came from. But truly, you're going to have to ask the players, because that's something in the room. That's the best part of this. I don't get half their jokes. I know they don't get most of mine, but that's more of an age gap thing. But that's what's awesome, right? So I'll go in at the end of a game. I never go into the room during the regular season after a game unless I really think they need me to. But I go in after every one of these games and I say something reasonable. And then I get out of there as fast as I can so all that stuff can happen. And that's the best part of it for these guys. Like Nick Cousins has got like 12 nicknames. Half of them I don't understand, but they think they're funny because they keep firing out at them. That's the good stuff, right? And so in the coach's room, we got our own thing going on too, right? We think we're funny, so we got lots of funny stories in there. But the dog bone, I got an idea, but I don't fully understand it because I saw it and didn't get it. Like, they told me dog bone, and I had a picture in my head, like the great big dog bone, right? That's not it. So I'm not trying to hold back from it. True, I don't. It's a bunch of stuff I don't want to know, too. The first conversation we had nothing to do with hockey. I think the second one, we eventually got around to the power play, and I said, where do you like to play? Anywhere. Anywhere you want me, I'll play anywhere. And at first I'm thinking, okay, he's being nice to the new guy, because nobody says that, ever, and it's never changed. Turns out we played him everywhere, I think. But that's who he is. He is part of the story of that room. You don't meet guys at that elite level that are so genuinely humble what's best for the team. He views the 13th forward as equally valuable to the group as himself. He never put himself ahead of anybody. He is just the driver of all things. Because the humility with which he deals with his teammates sets the tone in the room how all other players treat each other.
So Jan was a goalie in Finland, and so I've known Anton and known about him for some time. I didn't tell our scouting staff that. We were a month in, or however long, I forget now, but I didn't tell anyone that. I knew where we were picking, and I thought if he was there, he was actually the guy anyway who ended up on our list, independent of that. But he's a multi-dimensional player with huge upside. He can think it, he can skate, he can make plays, and he's beginning to evolve now, as Paul talked about, going through this process. And this process for him is the whole season, right? Continuing to play harder, like the stock market, up, down, up, down, up, down, and I'm just very, very pleased with his progress.
At a young age, at center ice, it's difficult to drive a line. He's got the speed to do it. He is a very strong man, and as he matures into that strength, he will physically drive the line as well. He's got great hands, great vision. I don't know. He can be a number one center in the National Hockey League and be a damn good one, without a doubt, because he will get to the point in his career with a minute left to go in the game. He'll be on the ice at either end of the rink. And if you watched the last series and a half, when the game got down to the wire at the end, that line was on the ice, and I moved Barkov with Bennett and Tkachuk and made a different line. And he took face-offs. So he was the guy. I wasn't being nice. He was the right man to be out there, and at a young age, very impressive.